Shalom, 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 Yasharallah. Shalom to my brothers and sisters that are scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom. Want to come to you guys with a brief, quick lesson today. Not too extensive, but just kind of something that we all need to hear on occasions when we're just kind of dealing with the times that we're living in. Through all the wars, the rumors of wars, the violence, the lovers of themselves, the everything that's going on throughout the world today is always important for us to know and realize that through it all we have to lean onto the Most High. I know we got a lot of people that's getting prepared and prepping, buying food and ammunition and firearms and such, just so they can be prepared for the times that are coming and that are waiting. But we always must remember that we have to put the Most High first, and the Most High will deliver us out of those situations. So let's get into it. Let's open up the PowerPoint. So the Most High delivers. The Most High is the one that'll take us out of the fire of adversity, right? The Most High is the one that is going to allow us to be protected through all the trials and tribulations and infirmities that are going to happen during these end times. So let's get into it. Oops. Too fast. Let's open up to the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and let's read verse 6. And it reads, ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And so we're living in a time now where we're hearing of wars, rumors of wars, which has been going on for quite some years now. The end times is going to be that period of time, that duration that we're hearing all this stuff that's going on until we actually do get into the warfare, right? And so we've been hearing a lot of these rumors, a lot of stuff that's going on, calamities going on in different locations and different stuff like that. But it says that all this stuff must come to pass, but the end is still not yet. So we have to make sure that we keep our composure, right? We got to make sure that we show perseverance throughout all these times, throughout all these rumors, through all the stuff that's going on, and that we put the Most High in the forefront of our minds. Let's flip over. Let's go to the book of 2 Timothy, and we'll read chapter 3 from verse 1 down to verse 5. And it reads, this know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. And so we're getting close to those last days. We're living in those last days, right? We got perilous times that we're living in now, right? Black people being killed by the police at an exponential rate, right? Gang violence at such a high rate. Sodomy at such a high rate. Even Esau is being killed off at such a high rate, right? They can't repopulate as fast as they once did, and technically are becoming extinct. So there's a lot of things that's going on, right? It says, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. And so we're witnessing all of that stuff right now. Lovers of their own selves, covetousness, people robbing, stealing, proud, people being blasphemous, the youth, disobedient to the parents. You see videos all the time of children getting into fights with their parents and different things like that. We are far away from what the Most High intended us to be, right? We're falling under the ways of the heathens, right? Falling under the customs of other nations and not upholding ourselves in righteousness, how the Most High intended for us to do. Without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God. So we got a lot of people that's high-minded, right? A lot of people don't even want to believe into the Lord, believe in the Most High, or people that love pleasures more than they love the Lord. They rather pop a pill, or they rather get drunk and drink their sorrows away and think that they can run away from the problems that's going on in the world instead of leaning and going to the Most High. But let's finish that up. Verse 5, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. So all of those things that we see in the world, right? That's people that we see in the world, people are doing. It says from that stuff, we have to turn away from it. We got to live in the world, but not of the world, right? We got to live on the righteous path according to the Most High, as opposed to living amongst the wicked. We got to be careful not to have too much company of them, because we know that the neighbor, the wicked seduces his neighbor. So we don't want to get seduced into anything wicked and get us off of our block, so that we don't have the protection of the Most High, so that we don't have the Most High to help us fight our battles, right? So we want to stay away from that. That's what we're living amongst. We know that this is the end times, because we see all of that stuff is so prevalent today. Let's flip over to the book of Isaiah, chapter 41, and we'll read verse 10. Book of Isaiah, chapter 41, and verse 10. And it reads, fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. So although all this stuff is going on, it can become a bit daunting, a bit overwhelming, overstimulating, right? We can feel like there's no way we can make it out of certain things that's going on, especially people that are deciding or trying to figure out what's the truth and searching for, the Most High in the moment. It can be difficult for them to go to the Most High when they're being seduced by so much wickedness that's going on around them. But it says to fear not, the Most High is with us. So it's okay to take that leap into the truth and know that, okay, you know what, I'm going to have to leave all these things alone. I'm going to have to leave all that stuff alone, but the Most High is with me. I'm not going to be alone, even though I'm leaving the world alone, right? He's going to be our strength. He's going to be the one to uphold us with his right hand of righteousness, as opposed to anything else or anybody else, right? Let's go to the Most High first. We don't have to don't run to the gun store and thinking that all these bullets, you're gonna be protected by all of these bullets, these guns, and all this, tons of food and it's important, yes, prepare yourself, but at the same time, you have to have a balance. You have to understand that you lean on the Most High first, because all those things can fail you in the time of need or the time of judgment, but the Most High will not fail you. Let's flip over. Let's get to the next one. Let's flip over to the book of Psalms, and let's read chapter 34. We'll read verse 19. And it reads, many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivereth him out of them all. So it says that we're going to go through a lot of afflictions, right? Especially if you're trying to live your life righteously. The more righteous you're trying to live, the more righteous you want to aspire to become, the more afflictions that you're going to face, right? Because the Most High is going to try those that are great and those that are not great, depending on how much how much you're willing to put and give into the Most High, right? And so if you're giving your all, then you might face a lot of affliction. But the Most High, it says right there, the Lord will deliver us out of them all. It's not going to be anything else other than the Lord. Like I'm saying, I'm not saying not to prepare yourself. I'm not saying not to protect yourself. Of course, yes, do certain things, but just make sure there's a balance there where we're putting the Most High first. The Most High is going to be the one to deliver us out, whether it be by use of those things that we do prepare ourselves with or by other means. But we do know as long as we have the Most High in the forefront of our mind, we will be delivered. Let's flip over. Let's flip over to the book of Proverbs. Let's get the book of Proverbs. So just like we read in the last slide, right? It says that the Most High will be the one to deliver us. The Most High is going to be the one to get us out of those afflictions that we'll face, especially if we're trying to live on the path of righteousness. If we're not trying to live on the path of righteousness and we want to partake in the world, good luck, right? Good luck. But we want to be in good grace with the Lord. So let's flip over to Proverbs chapter 11, and let's read verse 4. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death. So just like we read earlier, that the Most High is going to be the one to deliver those that are righteous, right? depending on our righteousness, that's what's going to deliver us from death. That's what's going to deliver us up in the time of war. That's what's going to deliver us up in the time of bloodshed and chaos and things that are prophesied to happen, right? And things that are going on right now, right? No matter how much money we have, how much land you got, it's not going to profit in that day. It's best we have our spirit right, right? Gird ourselves with the armor of God, right? Put all that on, and that's what's going to be what delivers us. Let's stay in Proverbs in chapter 11, but let's drop down to verse 28. Verse 28 reads, "He that trusteth in his riches shall fall, but the righteous shall flourish as a branch." So even when you think about it from the perspective of the oppressors, right? Esau, right? He thinks that his riches, his money, is going to buy him to another planet, buy him to inside the earth, somewhere he can hide from all the calamities that the Most High has prophesied to come to the earth. However, none of that stuff is going to work. None of that stuff is going to work. As we read right here, it says all of that stuff is going to fail. It's going to fall. You thinking you can save $1 billion, $1 trillion, or centillion dollars, however much money you want to save up, is not going to, you can't buy your way from this judgment that's coming. There's no way. No matter what you have, you're not going to be able to buy your way out of this judgment. Right? The only way you're getting out, the only way you're going to be preserved, the only way you're going to be delivered from this judgment is if you live in according to the Most High righteously. And if you're in Edomite, you don't even really stand a chance either way. So the children of Israel, it's best you get on the path. Let's flip over. Let's go over to the book of Exodus. Let's flip over to the book of Exodus really quick. So as we read in a couple of the slide before, the Most High is going to be the one that delivers the righteous, right? Then we just read riches, your money, your land, your whatever you have, all these other things is not going to profit you in the day of wrath, right? But your righteousness will get you delivered from death. And if you trust in those things, it's going to fall. So let's read down. Let's go to the book of Exodus, chapter 15, and let's read verse 2. "The Lord is my strength and song, and he has become my salvation. He is my God, and I will prepare him an habitation, my father's God, and I will exalt him." So the Most High, the Lord, is going to be our strength. Once again, we see it all day up and down the scriptures, right? And I think we know that, but sometimes we have to hear it again and remember that we have to make sure we keep a balance and not lean too much into material items that are going to protect us and cover us from times of adversity, but it's going to be the Most High that deliver us out of that, right? And as long as we have faith in the Most High, we trust in the Most High, and we're living according to his laws, his statutes, and his commandments, there should be no reason we have any fear. Let's flip over. Let's get to the next slide. Expand the Torah. Let's get the book of Deuteronomy. Let's open up to chapter 20, and we're going to read verse 4. And it reads, "For the Lord your God is he that goeth with you to fight for you against your enemies, to save you." So right there it's telling us if we live in righteously according to the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments, he's going to be the one to deliver us, right? And he's going to be the one to go before us and fight against our enemies, right? When we think about times past, how the Most High was always with the children of Israel when they went to war in times where they were living righteous, and how when the Most High wasn't with the children of Israel when they weren't living righteous, the difference that it makes, right? We're unstoppable. Nothing can stop us when we have the Most High on our side. But when we are living outside of what the Most High asks us to, we get trampled all day long. We get put into slavery, 400 years. We get whipped up. We get hung. We get castrated. We go through a lot. and we've gone through a lot. So it's time for us to get back to the righteous path. Make sure we put in the Most High first. Put in the Most High first. Allowing Him to light up our path. Allowing the Most High to guide our steps, to show us which way to go. And not being willful. Right? It says, for the Lord your God is He that goeth with you to fight for you against your enemies to save you. And so we want to be saved. We need to lean on the Most High. We need to lean on the Most High because all these nuclear bombs and I don't know how. I don't know how much the pistols and the assault rifles is going to help against nuclear warfare. There's other means of fire and flames that could also, take the earth as well too. And I don't think as much we can do against that. We're gonna have to have the Most High or be on the Most High side, right, and have that grace from the Most High in order to survive, right, in order to be saved, in order to be delivered. Let's flip over to Proverbs. Let's go back to Proverbs. Let's go back to Proverbs. Let's go back. We're gonna open up to chapter 14. But just like I was saying a second ago, there's only so much we can do to fight against fire, right? Whether it's nuclear warfares or volcanic eruptions or whatever, something from the earth's core, whatever may happen that may cause fire and the earth to look like that, ain't nothing you can do against that. You can't fight against the elements of the Most High. Might be able to go against a couple of Edomites, a couple of heathen, take down a few of them, but it's a long race. It's a marathon. It's a marathon. And the only way we're going to make it to the end of the marathon is by following the Lord, right? Living out His laws and statutes, loving our neighbors, we love ourselves, and love the Most High with all of our heart. On the rest of those, is that we got all the rest of the law, but those are the things that we have to abide by, keeping the Most High's feast days, right? And making sure we have that balance. Don't lean too much into material objects, material things to deliver us out of these situations. Book of Proverbs, chapter 14 and verse 11. The house of the wicked shall be overthrown, but the tabernacle of the upright shall flourish. So the Most High is already telling us, it's already destined. It's been predestined that the house of the wicked is going to be overthrown. It's going to happen. Sometimes we get fired up. We get a little animated and we want to start taking them out ourselves. Right? But we got to wait on Yahawashi. Right? We can't act too abruptly. Can't act out of pride, out of anger, out of frustration. But we got to be patient. We got to allow Yahawashi to return. We got to allow the prophecies to be fulfilled. We got to make sure that we're uplifting and building up our own nation, our own community first, before we can even get to that. Right? We got a lot of cleaning up in-house that we got to do. We got a lot of different things that's going on. You know what I mean? People dealing with certain things within their spirits that still need to be worked out. And the only way we're going to be clean for the Most High, for worthy to be picked, is if we work those things out and partake in the fruit of the Spirit as opposed to the fruits of the flesh. But let's read it again. It says, Proverbs 14 and 11, the house of the wicked shall be overthrown, but the tabernacle of the upright shall flourish. Let's get to the next slide. Let's go back to Proverbs. Let's go back to Proverbs, and let's go to chapter 16. I'm going to read verse 7. Book of Proverbs, chapter 16 and verse 7. When a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh his enemies to be at peace with him. So when we please in the Most High, we won't even really have to do too much, right? It says even make his enemies to be at peace with him. Peace may be different, it may not look like this, a ray of sunshine and people standing right there, but it could mean that you overtook your enemies, right? It could mean a number of different things, right? But we know that the Most High is going to make a way for us when we're living according to His laws, when we put in the Most High first and allowing the Most High to deliver us instead of trying to take things into our own hands. right? When a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. And it could be something peaceful like that as well too. But um, peace could look differently. It could look like bloodshed too. So as long as we're pleasing the Most High, we're living according to Him, we don't got to worry about it. We don't got to worry about it. All right, let's go to the Book of Psalms. Let's go to the Book of Psalms. And so I know it's chaotic. The world is getting crazier and crazier and crazier every day. Right? We hear something more off the wall, something more ballistic than we heard ever before each day. It's like they just trying to one up each other. It goes further and further and further and further. Like there's no bounds, right? And we know that's the way that the heathen operate until the Most High has to come and check and clean things up, which He's done multiple times throughout history, right? And so we know history repeats itself. There's nothing new under the sun. So the same process is going to happen again. But as we know, this time it's going to be the end of all the nonsense and the beginning of our kingdom to come, children of Jacob. Let's read that. The book of Psalms, chapter 5, and verse 11. But let all those that put their trust in thee rejoice. Let them ever shout for joy, because thou defendest them. Let them also let them also that love thy name be joyful in thee. So right here it's telling us once again, put our trust in the Most High, right? And rejoice in that. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. Don't be thinking, I feel like I ain't got nothing. I'm here without. I wish I would have had this and got that. And nah, you got the Most High. That exceeds anything else you could have brought with you. Bring the Most High with you. I say don't bring a knife to a gun's fight, but don't bring a gun to a fight with the Lord. Right? That's how we're dealing with it. We're dealing with it on a spiritual level because we know this flesh is nothing. We're dealing on a level that's beyond flesh, right? The Most High is spiritual. So we're operating on a spiritual level. And we don't want to allow fear to overtake our spiritual strength, our spiritual courage, right? The essence and the spirit that the Most High has within Him that He put within us. We don't want that to be tainted. We want to make sure that we uphold all of that stuff in our integrity. And even in times when, people may not be looking or what have you, we want to make sure that we're always holding that within us, right? We got that light within us. We're rejoicing in the Most High and not leaning and going to anything else before the Most High, which we know would be a form of idolatry. Let's get to the next one. Let's stay in Psalms. But let's go to chapter 138. All right, so we just read, rejoice in the Most High, right, and have joy and know that the Most High is going to be the one to preserve us, right? As we've basically been reading all lessons so far, right? Put the Most High first. The Most High is going to deliver us. Righteousness is going to deliver us according to the Most High. All these different things is more so talking about aspects of the spirit. It hasn't said that this rifle is going to deliver you. It hasn't said that this barn with these horses and this sheep is going to save you. None of that can deliver you. You can only be delivered from the Lord by the Lord. Let's open up. Let's Psalms 138 and verse 7. Though I walk in the midst of trouble, thou wilt revive me. Excuse me. Though I walk in the midst of trouble, thou wilt revive me. Thou shalt stretch forth thine hand against the wrath of mine enemies, and thy right hand shall save me. So once again, even though we're going to be walking in the midst of a lot of BS, right? A lot of chaos, a lot of craziness, troubles, all Jacob's trouble, right? We walking through all of the stuff. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. But the Most High is going to be the one to revive us. Like we mentioned before, it's beyond the flesh, right? It's beyond the flesh. Once this flesh is gone, we got to, the Most High is going to deal with our spirit at that point, right? And so it depends on how we conducted ourselves. If we really put the Most High first, if we really have faith in the Most High, or if we have faith in other means or in other things. The Most High is going to only be the one to revive us and put out his hand to take out our enemies and to save us. We won't be saved any other way. When the nukes start dropping, you can't fight them. No matter how many boxing classes you took, no matter how many MMA classes you took, you can't box a bomb. You're not going to be able to wrestle against a nuke. So let's get rid of the pride and let's make sure that we got the Most High in the forefront. That's the only one that's going to get us. A couple more. Like I said, it's not too long today. Short and sweet, but we got a few more still, so let's get through them. Let's flip over to the book of Isaiah. Let's flip over to the book of Isaiah, chapter 54. We're going to read verse 17. We were just talking about bombs and nukes and tanks and all of that stuff, right? Submarines and all this weaponry that Esau and the heathen all make and craft and own, right? We were just talking about all of that. Let's read this right here. It says, book of Isaiah, chapter 54 and verse 17. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord. So it says, no weapon that is formed against us shall prosper. And that's not only talking about the tanks and the submarines and the bombs and the nukes and all. It's also talking about, right, politics, right, being oppressed in other different ways, whether it be through prison, whether it be through police brutality, whether it be through gang violence and domestic violence and all of these different things that's going on, right? All of those are weapons that our enemies, the heathen, are using against us, right? He did all this stuff on the plantation ever since the days of Jacob and Esau, right? He's been plotting against us. And so when we got the Most High on our side, it don't matter what they do, even if it's beyond the advanced weaponry or artillery, whatever they have. If it's beyond that, if when we're dealing with political and spiritual and mental aspects, if you got the Most High in the forefront of your mind and you know that the Most High is going to protect us from all of that, we won't be harmed by any of those things. That's the heritage of the servants of the Lord, as it says, right? And their righteousness is of the Most High. So just like we said earlier, that your righteousness is going to be what delivers you, and the Most High is going to be the one that delivers you. Your righteousness, the Most High is the one that delivers you because he's the one that determines if you're righteous or not. So it's important that we keep all of this in mind, right? It's just a reminder for us to make sure that we keep the Most High in the forefront of our mind and don't get dismayed or don't get sidetracked and thinking, maybe not intentionally, but don't lean too much into anything else other than the Most High. At the same time, yes, still protect yourself, still prepare yourself, but make sure that balance is there and the Most High is the focal point. Let's flip over to Hebrews. So just like we read a second ago, right, that it's not, no weapon formed against us shall prosper, whether it's crafty counsel, whether it's politics, whether it's you name it, right? Systematic, whatever sort of form of oppression or ways that they are trying to kill off the children of Israel, whether it's the food, diet, clothing, you name it, all of that stuff. Don't partake in it and we'll be all right, right? So let's read the scripture here. We got the book of Hebrews chapter 13, and we're going to read verse 5 and verse 6. Verse 5. Let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such things as ye have. For ye have said, I will never leave thee, nor forsake thee. So he said, right, he ain't going to leave us, he's not going to forsake us. So it's not about how many things that we have, how much stuff that we have to prepare ourselves, right? Let's read the next verse. so that we may boldly say, the Lord is my helper, and I will not fear what a man shall do unto me. So right there, he's telling us that the Most High is our helper. That's who we go to. He's the right hand man. We're his right hand. That's the method right there, right? We got Yahweh, we got the Most High through Yahweh Shai. And that's how we receive our help. We ain't gonna fear no man. We don't fear anything when we got the Most High on our side. And we say that boldly, right? We say that boldly. We don't when the Most High is with us, we good. We good. Get to the next one. Let's flip over to the book of Romans. Book of Romans. Couple more slides. Go to the book of Romans, chapter 8, and verse 28. And then we're going to drop down and read verse 31, but let's start with verse 28. And we know that all things work together for the good of them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose. So no matter what happens, no matter what they do, right, it's telling us that all things work together for the good of them that love the Most High. And so if we're showing that love to the Most High, which we know what love is keeping the laws and the statutes and the commandments, right? If we're showing that, if we're exhibiting that to the Most High, right? That's what it's telling us, right? And we know that all things work together for the Most High. If we're showing that to the Most High, then everything that's going on is going to work to our benefit. It's already predestined, especially for the righteous. Now, if you live in unrighteous, your end is going, who knows what that end could be. We don't know. But we know it's going to have, it has to do with eternal torment, which I'm pretty sure nobody wants to partake in. So if you don't want that, it's best to live according to the Most High's purpose. Let's drop down. Let's read verse 31. And what shall we say? And what shall we then say to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us? So exactly like we said earlier, right? What can anybody say against that? If the Most High is for us, if we live in according to the Most High's laws and we in favor with the Most High, if the Most High is for us, it is impossible for anybody to be against us. I mean, they can be against us, but it's impossible for them to prevail. Right? We know the Most High is the all God, right? He's the one God. He's only one God, right? And that's the Most High. So nobody is gonna outdo or can overtake or subdue the Most High in any way, form, or fashion. The Most High is the all being, is the all God. So there's nobody that can go against him. If we have the Most High on our side, then there's nobody that can go against us. Let's flip over. Let's flip over to 1 Peter. Flip over to 1 Peter. Let's open up to chapter 1. We're going to read verse 13. Verse 13. Wherefore gird up your loins, wherefore gird up the loins of your mind, right? Prepare your mind, prepare your spirit, right? Gird up your spirit. Make sure that your spirit is in the right place. Make sure that your mind is on the right things, right? Like we said earlier, don't lean too much into the material things. Lean more so into the spiritual aspect of the Most High, right? Lean more so into that because we know the Most High can deliver us and will. It says, wherefore gird up the loins of your mind, be sober, and hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Hamashiach Yahushua. And so we got to be mentally prepared for all the stuff that's going to happen, and we have to be mentally sharp to navigate through the things that are going on now. It's very easy for anybody to slip and fall into transgression and not make it back, so it's important for us to have that tunnel vision and keep our eyes on the prize and understand and know that we got a goal that we're trying to accomplish, right? Like we mentioned earlier, it's a marathon. We're trying to make it to the end of the race. And there we know we got Yahweh Shai and the Most High waiting for us at the end of the race. So we want to make it there. We don't want to fall to the wayside before we can get to the end. Let's flip back to the book of Psalms. A couple more slides. Let's get back to the book of Psalms. And let's open up chapter 18 and verse 32 down to verse 35. Verse 32. It is God that girdeth me with strength and maketh my way perfect. So the Most High, like we read earlier, the Most High is the one that guides our steps. He's the one that gives us our strength. He's the one that makes our way perfect. As long as we have him, right? The Most High is the one that does that for us. He maketh my feet like hinds' feet, and setteth me upon my high places. He teacheth my hands to war, so that the bow of steel is broken in mine arms. So if he does guide us into war, or if he does guide us into doing things that we may have to do to take out our enemies, as long as we have the Most High guiding that, like we said before, it's 100%. It's 100%. 10 for 10. It's 100. You're gonna make it. Verse 35. Thou hast also given me the shield of thy salvation, and thy right hand hath holden me up, and thy gentleness hath made me great. So, and that's a great scripture right there, because it talks about how the Most High will be that salvation for us, that shield for us, right? That protection for us through our adversity, right? Through our trials, through our tribulations, through our afflictions, right? Through the war, through the rumors of war, through the calamities, through all of that stuff, right? The Most High is our shield, right? That shield of salvation, and His right hand and His grace, right? His gentleness is what gives us the opportunity to stay under His shield and become that perfect thing, right? To become worthy of repentance, to become worthy of being selected into the kingdom, Most High willing, right? We're almost there, y'all. Let's get. We're gonna finish it with this scripture here. Let's open up to the book of Ephesians. We're going to read chapter 6, verse 10 down to verse 18. And so the whole premise of the lesson, is just basically to give us some encouragement, or just a quick reminder to make sure that we always put the Most High first. And even though we may think that we always do, unintentionally, sometimes we may put more faith into objects or into material than we do the Most High. So let's just make sure we keep a balance. Just make sure we keep a balance. Don't go too overboard on one side or to one aspect, but have that balance amongst it all, right? Because the battle is not just with dealing with flesh, right? It's not just dealing with flesh. So let's read that book of Ephesians, chapter 6, and we'll start at verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So like we said earlier, it's not about the flesh and blood. It's not about the physical aspect of things, right? There's nothing we can do or buy or do anything to prepare ourselves physically that's going to benefit us, right? Because we know the Most High is a spirit. So he's dealing with things in the spiritual aspect, from a spiritual perspective. And so that's why it says we wrestle not against really the flesh and blood, but against principalities, right? Mentalities, right? Against powers and against rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And that's what we see taking over the world, the spiritual wickedness in high places. How it's a normal thing for wicked deeds and wicked acts to go on a daily basis, and people just have no sensitivity to it, no care towards it. It just is what it is. It's become a part of society now at this point, right? You go to the beach or you go to a park or somewhere and you see people out there half naked. You got, sodomy on display. You got a bunch of different things that's going on, right? That's not just dealing with flesh. It's a spiritual battle. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet show with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. So make sure we girding ourselves up, right? We're putting on these different elements, right? We're partaking in these different spirits to protect ourselves from the battle that's going on, right? Make sure you grab the shield, right? The shield of faith, right? Make sure you got on the breastplate of righteousness, right? Make sure in your heart is always focused on righteousness, right? When you how you act and how you carry yourself and doing certain things, make sure it's always with showing faith to the Most High, right? Whether it's be through your works and so on and so forth, right? Make sure your hand is always putting forth those actions of faith. And take on the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. So make sure that you're always protecting yourself with the word, right? Meditate in the scriptures day and night, making sure that we are looking to better ourselves spiritually, mentally, and in all aspects of the way of living, right? Make sure we're aspiring to be as best as we can possibly be. Verse 18. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all the saints. So if we're praying and we have supplication for one another, especially in the Spirit and living in the Spirit, right, then we should have that person. We should be preserved, right? We should be saved. We should be able to make it through those moments, like the scriptures tell us. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and close it out right there. Like I said, it wasn't too long today, maybe 45 minutes to an hour or something like that. But we wanted to just put a reminder out there to everybody. Make sure that you put in the Most High first. You know what I mean? Just make sure you're leaning on the Lord. Don't get caught up in the chaos and the rumors and the craziness that we're hearing going on and feel like you have to go and do something. Make sure that you leaning on the Most High, and the Most High will deliver you. With that, I say shalom.